The real Noah's Ark found. For years, there have been claims that the legendary boat, which saved a man and his family from a great world flood, actually existed. From time to time, new claims arise about people who have found pieces of the boat or even the entire ship itself. But is any of this true? Today, we will look at the latest discovery, which may be the greatest yet. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos about archaeology, history, and everything in between. The story of Noah's Ark can be found in the Bible and tells of how Noah was warned by God that he would destroy the earth with a great flood because of humanity's evil ways. So to save Noah and his family and two of every kind of animal, God told him to build a giant boat so they could survive the deluge. And when the rain stopped and the earth was ready again for life, they would repopulate the earth. However, many Christians believe that the story of Noah's Ark isn't just some sort of children's fairy tale, but is a real historical event. But if it really happened, then surely there should be proof of it somewhere. In recent years, there have been several people who have claimed that they have not only found proof that the Ark did exist, but that they have even found the actual Ark itself. But most of these claims are quickly disproven. There was one man, however, who claimed to have discovered the Ark on top of Mount Ararat in eastern Turkey in 2014. He said that he had seen the Ark and that his team had taken photographs of it, but that they were unable to climb up on it because it was too dangerous. Although he never released the photos he took, claiming that he didn't want his discovery to be exploited for financial gain. Soon after he disappeared, only to reappear a few years later, claiming that the Ark wasn't just on the mountain, but that it was inside the mountain. He said that a huge chunk of the mountain had fallen away, revealing a large cavity inside the mountain where the Ark was kept. Again, he claimed to have photographic evidence, but has refused to release the photos to the public. But recently, the man came forward again with still more news. He said that he had discovered a huge piece of wood which had come from the Ark. He showed samples of the wood, said that they were over 4,800 years old. Now, while many of his followers immediately believed him, experts were skeptical. They claimed that the wood was probably from a much more recent origin, and that it hadn't actually come from Noah's Ark at all. But what do the experts mean when they say that? Why don't they believe that the Ark could possibly be real? After all, if it did exist, then surely there would be traces of it left behind, right? Well, yes, there are, but it's the interpretation of the evidence which causes most of the arguments. One thing, which many experts agree on, is that there was a great flood which occurred in the area around 3000 BC. There are multiple layers of sediment, which have been found across the middle, east and eastern Turkey, which indicate that there was a massive amount of water which flooded through the region. This water overflowed from the rivers and deposited huge amounts of debris in the valleys below. Some researchers also claim that they have found fossils of fish and other aquatic animals at the bottom of dry riverbeds, indicating that the rivers suddenly changed course and drained away, leaving the animals stranded as the water receded. It's possible that this was the Great Flood which is described in the Bible. In fact, it has been suggested that the Black Sea may have been formed during this flood, when a huge amount of water rushed through the Bosphorus, straight into the sea, causing the sea level to rise dramatically and flood the surrounding areas. If there was a great flood, then it makes sense that there would have been some sort of huge vessel floating on the surface to escape the rising water. But the problem is that there is no concrete evidence that such a boat existed. Many people who believe that the Ark did exist point to some strange rock formations, which appeared to show the shape of a boat on the side of a hill. When we look at these pictures, it certainly does appear to show the shape of a very large boat with its pointed front and flat back. However, when we zoom out a bit, it becomes clear that it's nothing more than our minds playing tricks on us. These markings are just rocks which have eroded slightly, creating an optical illusion. Other people believe that the Ark still exists, hidden somewhere in the mountains of Turkey. Many search parties have gone out into the mountains to try to find the Ark, but none have ever returned with anything more than rocks and dirt. It's possible that the Ark was destroyed when it hit the ground after the flood, and that the wood was used for other purposes. Or perhaps it is still sitting in a dry dock somewhere waiting to be discovered. But the biggest reason why most scholars disagree that the Ark ever existed is because of the timeline. The story of the Great Flood is said to have occurred around 4,000 to 6,000 years ago, depending on who you talk to. But archaeologists haven't been able to find any evidence of it occurring at that time. The oldest archaeological site in the area dates to 9,500 years ago and shows that people were living along the rivers and valleys. If there had been a great flood, then it would have wiped out all evidence of human life in the region. But here we can see that people were living normal lives before, during, and after the supposed flood. This indicates that the story of the Great Flood must have been written down much later, and that it was based on much older stories. It's possible that the author of the story took inspiration from the geological evidence of the flood, seeing the debris layers in the fossils and believing that the stories passed down through generations were true. But many modern scholars believe that the stories of the flood were likely written down as an attempt to explain the geological features of the land, rather than being based on an actual flood. So did Noah really build a boat and sail it across the oceans to repopulate the world? There is no physical evidence that such a boat ever existed. But there is evidence of a great flood, which occurred thousands of years ago. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in the middle, and maybe there was a smaller boat which belonged to Noah and his family. But it wasn't big enough to fit two of every kind of animal. Maybe the stories got bigger and bigger until eventually it was said that the whole world was flooded. Ultimately, we may never know the truth about Noah's Ark, but there is one thing which we do know. A great flood did occur in the area thousands of years ago, causing widespread devastation. But whether Noah was involved or not, well, that's up for debate. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos about archaeology, history, and everything in between. See you next time.